I know the reason that you guys are listening to the show today, or hey, even if you're watching this just as a standalone breakout, I'm sure I'm going to do that in the future. You know, it's because you saw that final score. Yeah. And so now you come to me on the doorstep of Christmas, gun in hand. You look at me and you say, dance, dance. Because you saw that final score from a Jazz team that was on the second night of a back-to-back. That really only has like 3 road wins this year anyways. That was without Talen Horton-Tucker, Jordan Clarkson, and Lauri Markkanen. You're not crazy to think that the Pistons could have won. Vegas thought that they could have won. You know what sucks, man? You know what really hurts? Is that in a moment like this, and you watch your team gain a spotlight that truly nobody wants to have. But by the way, we as Detroit sports fans have already had. The Lions have gone winless. They were the first team to ever do it with like the modern NFL schedule. Now, thank God, since then the Browns have joined us, and it's just kind of funny that we're like brothers in arms with that whole thing. It makes sense. If there was any 2 teams that you had to pick who have they never won a game before, you would have picked the Browns and the Lions. Well, that's actually true. And you look at a Pistons team like this, and you say to yourself, if they can't beat a Jazz team on this night, under these circumstances, they literally cannot beat anybody. Because when you look at their schedule, it's bleak. It doesn't look good. There are not a lot. I thought the Atlanta game was like our best sneaky chance. It was our best sneaky chance. A lot of the time, the score didn't indicate that we were in it, but a lot of the time, even when we quote unquote were in it, we were in it. And then what ended up happening by the end of the game? We lost, but Cade had 43. That's not nothing. That's not nothing. And we covered the spread. Hey, that nothing. But instead, we now have to live with this moment where we are getting more national coverage than we've had as Pistons fans in 15 years. When we were going to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. That's the last time you heard anything good out of Detroit. They've been to the playoffs twice since then. They got swept by the 16 Cavs, and then they got swept by the 18-19 Milwaukee Bucks. They ended up losing to who? Toronto? They beat Detroit, and then they beat Boston, and then they lost to Toronto, right? That was the Kawhi year, I think, right? Yeah, that sounds right. That makes sense. Now we're seeing House of Highlights and Bleacher Report and ESPN post this team, and it's brutal because and what I'm about to say is it's going to sound like so much cope and you're going to roll your eyes. Please stay with me for 2 seconds. Just stay with me for 2 seconds. The only person that I can give credit to right now is Cade. And the reason that I say that, I don't care about the 43 points in longevity. Like I say, it's not nothing, right? He can score 43 points. Like that's great, right? Last night at halftime, he's on pace for a 30-point triple-double while still being on pace to lose the game. Like whatever, dude, whatever. What I'm saying is for him to sit up there, man, get on that podium and face the music and just be real and own it and say, we're not 2-26 bad. Like we're just not. But also, mentally, what are you, you just have to lock in. You just have to. What he's giving us isn't canned. It's not just, athlete speak for, you know what I mean? There's a rawness to it. There's, an authenticity where you feel for him in a way that we haven't felt for, I don't want to say a Detroit athlete, because between the Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, and Lions, we've had plenty of guys walk through these doors that deserve so much more than what we can give them. The Lions are the most tragic example. historically. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. Some of us would throw Matthew Stafford in there, right? And then what happened the first year he went somewhere else? He won a fucking Super Bowl. Huh? We're tortured. I make these videos constantly this season where I try to give you the truest feeling of what, because like if you think you know what this feels like, and to say this about a sports team, like, fucking relax. But I care. I care a lot about my teams. And I see guys like on like Reddit being like, oh my God, prayer circle, we're on a 9-game losing streak. Fuck off. In my fucking dreams. You know what I was reading when the Pistons were on a 9-game losing streak? I actually think it was somewhere in between that, like 12 to 17. This was like 2 weeks ago at this point. I don't even remember the circumstances. Something had just happened where the Pistons had lost a game that they probably also shouldn't have lost. I don't remember what game it was. And our beat reporters are putting out tweets that the Pistons, and they're not the beat, I'm not blaming the beat reporters for this, but like, the Pistons said that they just had the best practice that they've had all season, that this, general core of guys, this is their best 2 hours that they put together since they've gotten together. Cool. Great news. Happy to fucking hear it. Haven't won a game since. I don't care. And it's also wild. At some point, like, it just clicked in my brain. Why am I spending so much time defending Troy Weaver? Why am I spending so much time fucking doing that? Why am I like holding out hope in my brain that like I'm not being conned? Which, by the way, that's actually not what I'm worried about. My thing is no one can survive 26 in a row. And if you get to how it works is I think the longest single game losing streak in NBA history is 26 consecutive games. But the longest ever, spanning technically 2 seasons, is 28 games. So there are 2 records to break here, right? I would say by the next time you hear from me, a week from today on Friday, that will probably have happened. Unless they pull it off against Brooklyn at home, which I think they could. But we'll see. I don't even want to, whatever. Lose all of them. Fuck them. Right? Who cares? No one survives that. It's crazy to think a head coach could, but with how much money you just paid Monty Williams, like, I would just be shocked, man. I would just be shocked. Because I think what you're going to see here is Troy is going to lose his job. I'm not even going to say anything about Nerlens Noel commenting on, I don't know whose Instagram it was, but commenting that the front office is like holding dudes back. Whatever. Is the dam breaking? Is that what this is? Okay. We'll let that one marinate. Let it cook. And then we'll check that's in a crock pot. We'll check it in a little bit. What's Nerlens Noel? Is he saying anything else? Okay. But you cannot keep Troy Weaver. So what Tom Gores is going to do is if he's going to force Tom to make a trade, if he's going to force Troy to make a trade just to fire him, that's bullshit. Please don't do that. You did that with Stan Van Gundy, and then you just deplete your... Like, I get that you want to build a strong team so that you can entice a competent GM. Like, you're not getting Bob Myers. You're just not, right? I know a lot of Pistons fans think that could happen. I would be... Tom Gores loves a big swing, and he will pay anybody, so actually it maybe isn't that crazy. But it's you would have to create a situation... Not just for Bob Myers, what am I even talking about, but for any GM to walk into. So maybe that's the argument to do the trade, right? Or you just give him every asset to work with, and then he can build the team that he wants. But I don't think firing Monty Williams is going to be on the agenda. Even if 28, 29 consecutive losses should be like for everybody. No one should survive that. But I think Monty Williams will, for all intents and purposes. You know who shouldn't? Arn Tellem? Should Arn Tellem be in jail? People are asking. Should Tom Gores be in jail? People are asking. The only thing in my Tom Gores ransom video that I believed was that he should fucking go to jail and try out his prison phones. For, like, gross negligence and, like, slumlording the shit out of the Pistons for the last decade. Sell the team chants live on television. I didn't catch it live. At that point, like, the clock was winding down. I had it on, but I was just kind of, sorry if I just kicked the camera, but I was just kind of watching some other stuff. So I see somebody text me about it, and I was like, on some, send the video. Send the video. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how proud I was of Pistons fans, to be honest with you. And that's the only spin. That's the only positive spin, dude. Is if we're going to get this much media coverage, Tom sees it. Tom knows. You can't sweep this team under the rug. You know what I mean? You can't hide this. You can't hide this. There's not enough window dressing in the world to cover this up. You can beat your face as much as you want. There's not enough foundation to cover the blemish. You know what I mean? I truly want to go 45 minutes on this topic. I do. For the sake of time. I'm like real life. It's crazy. I went from, wow, this sucks. Like my team's losing a bunch of games to I literally don't care. I literally don't care what happens to them. I literally don't want them to win any more games at all. To now that Jazz game like killed me because I was so sold that it was happening. Even when I truly didn't care. I truly didn't care if they won. I don't care about breaking the streak at this point. Make it. Make history. But I just feel, I think we are all trying to be the body language police a little too hard looking at that Cade video as soon as the game ended, you know. Was he crying? I don't know, but he was upset. Don't love that. That's a huge bummer. That makes me so sad to see him that sad. Like, Cade, you're great, dude. And that's what sucks. It's so easy for people who aren't watching them because I'm not even blaming you for not watching them. But it's not him. It's not him, man. Yeah, he turns the ball over. Like he's had some bad turnovers. Yeah, there are moments where it's him, but this is part of a larger thing that does not involve him. It just doesn't. And so that sucks, man. We've just seen this movie too many times in Detroit. We've been down this road too many times. We had a shaky kind of thing with Verlander for a little bit. Like, thank God we just had Miguel. Thank God we just locked him up for like 15 years. And we're like, hey, you're only going to be good for like 3 years of this contract, but that's okay. That's fine. That's pretty much exactly what happened. Sell the team.
Beautiful. Primary control. Beautiful. Primary control. Beautiful. Primary control. Beautiful.